Mary Veronica Kasser was born in Budapest, Hungary in the early 1940s. Her parents, Elisabeth and Alexander Kasser, were heroes during the Holocaust, working with Raoul Wallenberg to save the lives of thousands of Jews. Although she only learned about their courageous efforts much later in her life, she saw firsthand their love of freedom, devotion to art and music, and commitment to philanthropy. The family fled communism, first to Mexico and eventually to Montclair, New Jersey. In 1968, her family created the Kasser Family Foundation, dedicated to the arts. Mary graduated from Wellesley College and the University of Chicago Law School and became a lawyer. In 1980, she was elected the Mayor of Montclair, New Jersey, the only woman to ever hold this office until earlier this year. In 1984, she was recruited to run for the U.S. Senate.
When I spoke at the Republican National Convention in 1984, I said, can you imagine that a woman, an immigrant, can have the nomination of her party for the seat of United States Senate? Well, of course, today there are plenty of women, there are plenty of immigrants who have the nomination of their parties. But in those days, it was so unheard of that it was remarkable.
Appointed by President Ronald Reagan, Mary was the first woman to serve in the State Department as the principal deputy legal advisor to the Secretary of State and special negotiator for real estate with the rank of ambassador. She remained in this role for nearly 10 years, working under Presidents Reagan and Bush, negotiating countless bilateral and multilateral treaties. Mary continues to be proud of her Hungarian roots.
I feel very proud to be a Hungarian. I think it's a wonderful DNA, amazing DNA. My parents were very involved with the Hungarian American Association in New Brunswick with Dr. Molnar. From the time he started, they were big supporters. Hungary, for me, has a lot to do with culture and not so much folk dancing, but true, creative achievement.
Mary has served on numerous boards, including the National Museum of Women in the Arts in Washington, D.C., the John F. Kennedy Center for Performing Arts, Young Concert Artists, and many others. The Kasser Mochary family remains an immense source of pride, from her parents to her brother Michael, her children Alexandra and Matthew, and her grandchildren. Many of them came together recently to dedicate the Alexander Kasser Theater at Montclair State University.
So what we did is we created this foundation to support young artists and to bring art to people who don't have access to it otherwise.
No, we never really own art. We just are the keepers of it. It's a big responsibility, and we try to keep it in good condition for the next generation and for generations after that. That's what owning art is about. It's really just taking care of it.
What my parents taught me, they taught me everything. They taught me that education was primary, most important. They taught me the love of art and music. They taught me kindness and generosity. They taught me courage. They sometimes criticized me for speaking my mind too much, nevertheless, so they taught me to modify that a little bit, but nevertheless, that's my nature. I speak my mind. And to some extent, that perhaps has helped me to attain positions of leadership. The greatest achievement, of course, is the one that was easiest to do, were my children. They're amazing, and if I had anything to do with it, and I guess the mother has to take some credit, That was my greatest achievement.